You guys start setting up the equipment. You guys start setting up the equipment, and the wrong hero is going to hand it to Ollie. Do it. Don't think about him. Just do what you got to do. And then watershed Pittsburgh is going to be here. Any of us ever want to play Pittsburgh, you all better be attentive. Thank you. Not the music or something. Oh no. Yes.
They say Washington never told a lie. Excuse me, but how did he get ready? Huh? And they call him the father of our country. I don't know. I can't figure it out. What am I going to do? I got a plaque in my apartment that says, Washington didn't sleep here, but he said he did. Just to be honest. That's the kind of guy he is, I guess. You know, if I could meet Abraham Lincoln face to face, I would be torn between wanting to say to him, Abe, can I pick the fleas from out of your beard? And between using his head to check for treadwear on my car. Now to bring in this word for anarchy light. Only half as destabilizing as the leading forms of chaos. Anarchy light. I invented a Bible for children. It's called The Big. The Old Testament is just one word. No! And the New Testament is also one word. Because! And the Apocrypha adds, I said so. It is written on a face glove. Also been a religion for dogs. Kind of a redundancy in time. It's called heal. In the Old Testament, it's one word. Set. In the New Testament, bear with me now, it's two words. Good dog. I don't have messianic delusions. At least, that's what God told me. No, it's a really easy thing to make fun of fundamentalist preachers. So I will. Well, I invented Jesus in the Bible. I have to say it, but he was a pest. He walked up the shower door. He left his face on all the towels. He came in naked and bleeding and said he lost his robe at a dice game. He gave away my coin collection. He changed the answer on my answering machine so it would say, I know who you are and why you are calling, and your sins are forgiven. Well, while we're on this tasteful subject, I'd like to say a word for him. Jesus Christ. Soup! Are you tired of chicken gumbo? Step up to Jesus Christ. Soup! It's the only soup that gives you spiritual advice while you're eating. The little Hebrew letters spell out, Father, forgive them. They know not what they do. Only when you eat. Jesus Christ. Soup! How are we coming along here? It's just like Buddy Holmes, man. What is that song? Well, I'll just say this word for the penis. The penis. Strong enough for a man. But women like it too. And now this word for placebo light. Only half the fillers of regular placebos because less than nothing. But the placebos are getting too heavy. They make you feel heavy in the morning. Because you wouldn't want anything to happen now, would you? And that was good for it. DNA. With human DNA, we bring things to life. You know, I used to use drugs. Come on. No way. 14 weeks. 14 weeks ago. But now I've got a prescription and it's medicine. So, leave me alone. Are you familiar with Johnny Most? Yeah. What if Johnny Most had used drugs? He said, no, of course. Like a sugary volcano, what have you. And he drank some hard liquor. How do you think he got his voice like that? Johnny Most was the Paganini of web. Okay? Now they use drugs because, oh my God. Hey, little bit of a captain fiddle. The captain fiddle, the little doctor boy. Now the sound with the crowd and the spoon. He's fiddling and dilly down the pole. This is terrible. Seizures having seizures. Seizures having seizures. This is terrible. Fortunately for posterity, however, Johnny Rose did not use illicit drugs. I want to combine the Beverly Hillbillies with Night of the Living Dead and have the Cramps do the soundtrack. It'll be something like, now this is the story, near and near and near and near, of a man named Jed, near and near and near and near, a poor mountaineer. Now it's one of the living dead! Ooh, I think that would work. You know, Jim Morrison had been born in Ireland. I think it would have come out something like, oh, the time to hesitate is through, the time to follow in the fire, and if you're the temple on, light your hand on fire. Oh! Nobody seems to know where Michael Jackson is. I just talked to him. You left me this. Anybody want it? I think it was Macaulay Culkin. I'm not sure. I had a job writing children's books. But I got fired for using the word poo. They also didn't appreciate my masterpiece. We need the shit. I'm working on an unauthorized autobiography. It's called, This is not a book on being swell. Get out of here. Fix the right on brandy. Part 1. Part 2 is called, So You Didn't Listen. Well, I applied for a job, went for the job interview, and they said, have you ever been arrested? And I said, yes, by my great talent. They said, do you have any experience? I said, yes, Jimmy Hendrix experience, down on the house. And they said, what are your hobbies? And I said, being interrogated by total strangers. That's what I love that. Feedback. This is what I'm doing. It's feedback, you know? I mean, not really. It's a self-enclosed feedback system. You just happen to be here. Thanks. Thanks for being here. Love you all. Hey, when Dr. Kevorkian gets out of jail, I think he's going to go on tour with the Grateful Dead. They can do, Please Don't Ease Me In, and, of course, A Touch of Greg. I think that would work for him. You know, whenever a policeman stops me for speeding, I like to play a little game called Nice Victim, Mean Victim. And it goes something a little like this. Hey buddy, you were doing 70 miles an hour, backwards, in a school zone. Why is that? And I'd say, top of the morning to you, officer. Sure, what's a police captain like you doing a pound in the beach? I will tell you why I was speeding. It was because I was pretending the accelerator was a policeman's head. Because I was sucking on a cube of LSD, and I wanted to get home before I melted. Officer called me and goes, I'm sitting in your ass and Dr. Davidson, more morning, sir! And he said, okay, we'll let it go this time. See if it doesn't happen again. This has been so much fun. I just can't tell you that's what it is.
Watershed.
Shout, you know, yeah. Well, I guess it's time to this watershed. You know what? They're from Pittsburgh, and I like to sing this song because it's based on something that happened to me in Pittsburgh. I was selling encyclopedias in Pittsburgh, and I was trying to sell them to unemployed steel workers, and they didn't want to buy it. And this woman yelled at me one time because I yelled at her dog. And so I wrote this song, and it goes, your dog is barking, he's a good old pup. Don't you tell my dog to shut up! Watershed.
Now, it's my pleasure to introduce to you the absolute toast of Cambridge, whatever the fuck that means. The wrong hero.
I'm so in touch with myself, I've forgotten how to feel. I don't have a very long time to dwell amongst you, so I will give you my short and affectless opening.
Hi, how are you? Good to see. What about that weather?
Thank you. I'd also like you to ponder this question. When are comedians going to stand up against the awesome power that advertising exerts to shape our desires? I'll answer that question right after these few words from my sponsors. The penis. Strong enough for a man, but made for a woman. But men like it too. And placebo light. Do you suffer from placebo bloat? Well, try placebo light. Only half the inert ingredients in fillers of regular placebos. Costs twice as much and does less than nothing. Placebo light. And right across the street from Purity Supreme, come and visit Filthy Midget Mart. Filthy Midget Mart is found in a cramped basement right across the street from Purity Supreme. So next time you go out shopping for all those non-essential items, be sure to make a stop at Filthy Midget Mart. Go to our produce section. Careful with those pineapples, though. Some of them are real live hand grenades at They don't sell milk and bread and eggs and other boring bourgeois impedimenta. But we do have the largest collection of chewing tobacco, snuff, and prosthetic jaws on the East Coast at When you go to the checkout line, we don't ask you if you want paper or plastic. We just throw the shit at your head. That's why we have the fastest checkout lines in the business. Only right across the street from Purity Supreme. I'd like to do some of my award-winning impressions for you now that I have gotten your attention. The first one is the Sphinx. Cheese. A gravestone. And now, in spite of my 210-pound bulk, I would like to show you my incredible creativity by doing my Doris Day impression. And continuing in this vein, my impression of a bell backwards. Girl! Very well then. Although I am ageless, and in fact as old as the wings of death, when I was a child, I was living with my cousins in Castle Shannon, Pennsylvania. Oh, that wasn't Irish, not much, but I do recall my cousin being enamored of the Gomer Pyle show. In fact, every time the stirring Marine Corps anthem would commence to begin the show, he would rise almost uncontrollably from his sofa, be like, sing out, sing out, sing out! You know, he later became a mailman. He liked the uniform. Anyway, this is my impression of Jim Neighbors advertising preparation age. You call me Sergeant?
No, it's these damn hemorrhoids! They're killing me!
Well, why don't you try preparation H?
Preparation H! I'll give it a shot!
2 days later.
Oh, for once you're right! It really worked!
Surprise, surprise, surprise. And what about his cousin, Goober? I always wondered what his pickup line would be in a bar. I got filth under my fingernails from last week. Will you marry me? I have often wondered about that. I try to do a clean show. I try not to use distasteful words or discuss distasteful and controversial subjects unless they suit my arbitrary and cruel whims. I don't even like to use the word shit. I prefer to refer to it in a more dignified way as brown monuments to a healthy appetite. Because I like to look on the bright side of things, you know? I figure if you go blind from staring at the sun, at least you'll get a hell of a suntan, you know? So, no sense in dwelling in negativity. But, I was pondering the differences between men and women. Now, don't let anybody tell you that there aren't gigantic differences, an enormous emotional as well as physical gulf between men and women. And this is perhaps epitomized in when you compare a man's refrigerator with a woman's refrigerator. Now you look into a woman's refrigerator and what do you find? Lipsticks, powder puffs, little kittens, and fuzzy little teddy bears, and perhaps a sealed pack of Marlboro Lights. But if you look into a man's refrigerator, what do you find?
A monkey's paw clutching a jewel! Dynamite! Nuclear waste! Textbooks on Armageddon! Cigars, condoms!
That's what you find when you look into a man's refrigerator. This portion of The Wrong Hero is brought to you by Pope Light. Pope Light, slimmer than the fat pontiffs Catholics worship. Why do poor people go to church? Isn't 5 days on your knees enough? I've often wondered about this. The Wrong Hero's shocking anti-clericism has clearly silenced everybody in the room, for which I am profoundly grateful. Yes, you know, I often think though, maybe I shouldn't get on this God stuff too much, because what's going to happen to me when I die? When I die, I want my dog to bury me. That's so he won't think I deserted him. I also want him to pull the casket, but he's a Chihuahua. So I want to get one of the St. Bernard friends to do it. Maybe he can stand on the St. Bernard's back and play the accordion. You know, something sweet like "There's no place like home." You know, I would like that very much. In fact, you know, to say this, but my dog is my best friend. All of my best friends piss in the corner. All of my best friends kill chickens. All of my best friends roll around in their own filth. All of my best friends beg for treats with their genitalia exposed. Yes, my dog is my best friend. Whenever I get stopped for speeding by a traffic officer, which is quite often since I commute from Cambridge to Providence quite frequently, I like to play a little game with the policeman called Nice Victim, Mean Victim. And it goes something like this. Top of the morning to you, officer. Sure, what's a police captain like you would do a pound in the beat? Can I see your license and registration? Oh, why were you speeding? I'm sorry. I was pretending the accelerator was a policeman's head because I was sucking on a cube of LSD and I wanted to get home before I melted. Officer, coffee and donuts. Say, I'm picking you up! At 4 in the morning, sir! And he says, I'm gonna let you off with a warning this time. See it doesn't happen again. Yeah, this drug thing, it's wild. Drugs are sort of like politics for people who are too lazy to vote, you know? And it's really, it's got me, because, you know, I like to keep up with current events, but just think, you know, sometimes when you come up with material, people say, hey man, you must have been on drugs when you thought of that. You ever hear people going, hey man, get a hit of that air. Hold it in your lungs, don't let it out. Okay, now let it out real slow. Oh. And you ever hear people say, fucking A, man. Fucking H2O. This is the best damn water. What's the matter? You're too good to drink water with your old buddy? Huh? So, I often wonder, you know, and people walk up to Einstein, hey man, you must have been stoned when you thought of the theory of relativity. But I often wondered how history would have been different if, say, someone like Johnny Most had used drugs. You know, Johnny Most, the lately deceased announcer for the Boston Celtics, or is it Celtics? I guess in Ireland it's Celtics, but everywhere else it's Celtics. Well, I've often thought of how Johnny Most would behave if he were under the stimulus of these illegal substances. And I believe it would go something like this. This is terrible. Where's my drink? Well, yes. That was good. You might wonder what I do for a living when I'm not doing this. Well, it's funny you should wonder that. I'm only presuming that these are your thought processes. I'm sorry if the presumption is incorrect. But, well, I've been writing cover letters lately. I wrote a cover letter on a nest of fire ants. But the personnel office had sprinkled boric acid around the sills, and never got to them. Then I wrote my resume, on a snow cone. But the personnel office didn't have air conditioning, and so it melted. So finally I did it right. I got the cream-colored paper, the IBM Selectric, the whole shooting match. You know, resumes that knock them dead, all that stuff. And I wrote a resume which I was sure would really impress them. And it was, Dear Earth Filth, suck my drug-laced nipples, because this is my resume! Do you hear me? Mine! Get your filthy hands over it, you greedy little... Sincerely, the wrong hero. And I got the interview. And the interviewer was very nice, but he threw some hardballs at me, like, name 2 of your former bosses' biggest weak points. Well, that was easy. The throat and the kneecaps. And then they said, have you ever been arrested? And I said, yes. By my great talent. And then they wanted to know what my weakness was. And I said, drugs. Got it. And finally, he said, do you have any hobbies? And I said, yes. Getting interrogated by total strangers. You know, it's a hard life. All of my friends are having children now. This doesn't have anything to do with the Hollywood propaganda machine, which says that you must be fruitful and propagate in order to bear young so that they may be sucked into the maw of the military-industrial complex. But I don't want to get into that because I'm not a political person. But all of my friends are bragging about having children. Now, what do I have to brag about? I left some ejaculate into a handkerchief last night, and it smelled like a petunia. There's nothing wrong with masturbation. And there's nothing wrong with Nintendo either. In fact, masturbation is the poor man's Nintendo. Thinking of opening up a theme park right across from Disney World. It would be called the Manic Kingdom. And I would keep the employees well stocked with all sorts of pharmaceuticals, and so there'd be something along the lines of, thanks for the steroids, Uncle Wolf! And thanks for the tranquilizers, Uncle Wolf! And of course, thanks for the hat, be our guest, our magic deliverer! Because I'm afraid of the Disney people. Do you know what Mickey Mouse stands for? MIC, Military Industrial Complex. KEY, Keynesian Economic Yoke. MOUSE, more of United States engulfment. There's a lot of things, institutions and such like that I don't trust, like television. Television is tobacco for the eyes, which is why they don't have cigarette ads on television anymore, because it's redundant. Really. But I noticed they have all these like really obnoxious ads for this stupid goddamn bubble gum or chewing gum, like I can't smoke at work. You know, it's like kill smokers. T-Rex. You know, yellow star. You know, in the shape of tartar, and so I thought of something that they could advertise. It would be like to smoke crack at work, but the boss won't let you. Chew junky gum. Because with every working of your jaws, your employers will know that you are a junkie. 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 My dad, I don't want to rag on him, but he's not too much older than me. He's only in his mid-50s, and he sort of tries to pretend to like the stuff that I like, to show that he hasn't lost touch with what these kids today are thinking. So one day he comes downstairs and says, "Hey, what's that music you're playing? I kind of like it." And I told him, "It's the dishwasher, Dad. Okay?" It's a funny thing about music. You can, well, before I tell you what the funny thing is, broken glass, excellent. I'll do my Iggy Pop. Does anybody have a song? The most boring, cretinous song that you can possibly think of?
Magnet Steel.
I don't know that one. Okay. You can jazz up any stupid cretinous song by throwing in the word "hey." Like, you are the magnet, and I am the steel. Oh, you, or when the red ball goes blah, 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 hey, blah, blah. Any song at all. I'll take that challenge. Another song.
Dirty Water.
Okay, well, the guys who wrote that song weren't even from Boston. The Standells were from California. How dare they impugn the quality of Boston's secondary sewage treatment system? All right, well, let's do it the way it was originally intended to be done, as a blues. Well, I love that dirty water, love that dirty water. There's another thing I've noticed. I had to do a show this afternoon with the thrash band playing downstairs. Any warning can be a thrash song. For example, "Sergeant General's warning! Smoking may reduce health to your health!" Or, "Cross at the screen! Hey, no, in between!" So I don't know about that. Here's a chair. Now, this gives me the opportunity to do my Elvis impression. I do it differently from most other people. I do Elvis's off-stage act. There's a big one in here somewhere. Push my pants. Mama, you don't have to take them diet pills. I love you just the way you are. Colonel Parker swindled me out of half of my money. Daddy, if I want to throw diamond rings into the front row of the audience, that's my business. The search goes on for the fourth Beatle. I think it should be me. I was in a band called the Street Beatles. Let's see, we had a single. I want to hold your purse. Backed with a taste of vomit, tasting much sweeter than bile. So, I think that should be me. You know, the thing about The Who, right? Roger Daltrey sings the songs of Peter Townsend. Wasn't that The Who? I mean, but you know what gets me to say? Peter Townsend wrote that song, "Let Milo Open the Door," and I'm wondering, gee, what if he had thought of that at Riverfront Coliseum in Cincinnati? When all those people got crushed. That would have been great. We could have sucked them up into his nose and they could have hid there for safety. And the Rolling Stones, the Rolling Stones, they drowned Brian Jones. The only one in the lot that had any talent, and they drowned him in a swimming pool. And yet, if he had hung on to Mick Jagger's lips, he could have floated to safety. So it's a pity. And Keith Richards got confused. He had his blood replaced with heroin. I can see this isn't a rock and roll crowd. That's good, Because to bring a rock and roll crowd to your knees, all you gotta do is to say the word shit. And, oh, did you hear that? Oh, yes. Well, I'm gonna open up a rock and roll ice cream store. It's gonna be called, it's gonna be called the Rock and Roll Ice Cream Store. And I'm gonna have, the premier flavor is gonna be petroleum jelly and rust. And I'm gonna call it Neil Young. When I was in junior high school, we used to get to play music during lunch. And the school was half Greasers and half Soul Brothers. And the Greasers all wanted to hear Blue Velvet by Bobby Vinton. And the Soul Brothers all wanted to hear War by Edwin Starr. And so every lunchtime would sound something like, 1, 2, she wore blue velvet. What is it good for? Absolutely nothing. So it was strange. Here's another thing I want to know. What is the purpose of a weekend?
Well, some days are better than others. Some days are better than others, too. I'm saying on days. Does that mean I'm dazed and confused? Well, I will be. But before I indulge myself, I thought I should mention that, why the weekend? Why do we have to have a set time to act spontaneous? I just want to know. Well, before I hop back on my spaceship, I want to mention that politics are sports for people who are too fat to run. I also want to mention that I know for a fact that our President Bill Clinton has been an overachiever from a very early age. In fact, he entered the 4H club and he entered the competition at the state fair. He had the prize-winning hog at the state fair, but they made him put it back in his hand. He was disappointed. You know, I was sad because I had no shoes. And then I met a man who had no feet. So I let him walk all over me. And that's called affirmative action. But I was still sad because I had no shoes. So I met another man who had no feet. So I kicked him. Good. And said, excuse me. And that was called a return to family values. And my motto, I think you have guessed it by now, is superfaction guaranteed or your money back. If I can remember where I was put. I've had this happen to me. A lot of times when you see a beautiful woman walking down the street or a guy who looks something like, hey, when people see me walking down the street, you know what they say? Security! I'm actually an accounting guy. And I didn't have very much luck with women. Maybe let's set the pickup lines that I was taught from an early age. You know, stuff like, hey baby, what's the fucking sign, huh? Or, I believe that you and me were together in a past life, and you owed me money. That just didn't work. You know, I wonder, what if Jim Morrison had been a real Irishman instead of like an Irish American? He'd probably still be alive today. In fact, he'd probably be like 91 years old because he'd be singing all that traditional Irish music like, oh, the country has to take the school of time to water with some Irish. Here's John a Templar with Mr. Hale Fire. Oh, oh. So, Where it was, hi, I'm the wrong hero. An apple cleans your teeth. So does a hand grenade. A carrot improves your vision at night. So does a hand grenade. An apple a day keeps the doctor away. But what kind of fruit keeps the policeman away? That's what I really need to know. Well, before I go, I do have to mention our sponsors. Malcolm X-ray specimen enables you to see through white hypocrisy. Oh, and also, I want to mention two funny things I've noticed in my travels. One of them is, you ever notice how all Midwesterners sound as though they're taking elocution lessons from Huckleberry Howe? And it's like, hold on, we want to get gasoline in your car. I'll tell you what, you tell me where that gas station. Now it's a screw for you there. There you go. You want some air in time? Well, I'll pay you 25 cents per bin, partner. You know, I'm going to get mean on you. And when Southerners are angry at me, they all talk as though they're taking a crap. You know, it's like, what are you doing? It's those charismatic Southern preachers. Boy, I'll tell you, they're real orators, you know? So like, well, I tried that. I invited Jesus into my home. And he was a pet. He gave away my coin collection. He left me space on all the cows. He walked up the shower nozzle. He turned all the bath water into raw sand. But it took a week to get the stains up. Worst of all, he came in naked and bleeding and said he had lost his robe in a dice game. You know, up in Boston, the Irish don't want gays to march in the St. Patrick's Day parade. They don't want gays to march in the St. Patrick's Day parade, and yet, who is the one person you think of when you think of the Irish? I'll tell you who it is. Lucky Stars. They don't want gays to march in the St. Patrick's Day parade, and they do that for Lucky Stars. They tell you for what? Well, whatever. But instead of being Irish, Lucky Stars were Scottish. No more yellow stars, orange moons, and green clovers. Big triangles, Is what you can. The thing about it, you've been wonderful. That's the wrong hero. They're supposed to exploit. Stop serving opium in our coffee, I think.
Okay, here comes the wrong hero, it's Francis DiMenno.
Sorry, I'm late. Good. Trying to appeal to a younger audience. About my sidekick. Like most superheroes, I have a sidekick. Unlike most, I carry mine in a little bag that I got at Goodwill. It's Punxsutawney Phil, or as I like to affectionately refer to him, stupid ass beaver with an Irish Pennsylvania face. I am not trying to hypnotize you into becoming my earth slave. I am not trying to hypnotize. Thank you. This is my comeback tour. Actually, I was never really very famous to begin with, except for that time I appeared on the Lawrence Welk show, performing my hit, Homosexual Truck Driving Man. Nor have I really ever gone away, except for that 13 years I spent in a sensory deprivation chamber. But let's not dwell upon the mistakes I've made in the past. Let's dwell instead upon the mistakes I intend to make in the future. Like continuing this show. Some of you might recognize me. I invented a car that runs on blood sugar. Of course, you might not recognize me. I lost 300 pounds on the drive from Albany. It's a good thing I picked up that hitchhiker. Hey, I'm not a bad guy. I just make him pay his toll. Taxes. Here's a riddle. What's the difference between the IRS and a pack of wolves? Wolves devour their prey while it's still alive, and the IRS waits until April 15th. Record snowfall this year, huh? Except for one thing. Forgive me if I tell. What about the ice age, huh? The ice age! Record snowfall, what about the ice age? I guess that didn't really count since there were only dinosaurs and stuff. I'd like to be an eternal
You can't really tell Southerners anything. We're protesting, but, mister, your head's on fire. When Southerners get angry at you, they all talk about you taking a crap. It's like, running through the process of backwards. I'm not about this thing. A moment of silence for presidential candidate Carlos Diaz. Now they're talking about there's a big conspiracy theory to assassinate the leader of the institutional, Mexico's ruling party for the last 70 years. But one thing you have to consider is 90% of conspiracy theorists are unemployed. They can't get a job and they can tell you who killed Kennedy. And you can see them filling out a job form. Hobby? Proving that Oswald was a patsy. So I just wondered about that sometimes. This was on the day Serbia. I guess we don't send any helicopters over there. I could sing a song in honor of our intervention in Bosnia and Herzegovina. If you shell my suburbs, I will bomb your suburbs to serve with love, with love. That's the carpenters in their psychedelic thing. I had a job writing children's books, but I got fired for my masterpiece. It was my masterpiece. I am an artist not bound by common, ordinary, everyday constraints, mere commerce. In fact, the more unsuccessful I am in the romantic mode, the greater I'll be. Or so I think. Anyway, I wrote this book, they rejected it. It was called Ways of Shit. I'm sorry I used that word, winning. I think shit is an ugly word. I think it should refer to it by a more dignified name, like brown monuments to a healthy appetite. Well, brown monuments to a healthy appetite. Keep your toilet bowl and just one thing you can do. 2001 buses. 2001 buses. In the monolith side and the economy side. I don't know if you folks know about this. Floaters. You know what floaters are? They're little bits of defecatory matter remaining in the bowl after you're finished. It's a very embarrassing topic. Oh, I just want to mention, you know what really makes my day is when I'm going to the bathroom, I flush the toilet, and I swirl it down the bowl, and I got this toilet paper in my hand, and I wipe off the bathroom thing, and I throw it in there, and it makes the last swirl. It's like, all right! But floaters are a problem. Like, you're at the Astor Mansion, Jakob Astor in Newport, and you use their toilet, and it won't go down. They're cheap, they have a brick in the tank, and the toilet doesn't flush properly, and just a little bit left. Like, oh my God, what are we going to think? I'll never get to the 500 now. So they think you're a junkie. You're in there for 15 minutes. Come on, come on. And all along they had a planted in the bowl that kept your social composure. Playing a cruel prank on me. I had a stomach virus. Actually, it was a hamburger that I left out on the counter for 5 hours and then cooked. But I like to refer to it as a polite euphemism. Stomach virus. It was like, the house was like a little holiday, The rats were cleaning down the street. Was that the holiday? I don't know some guy stomach virus, I don't know. Relationships. I believe that inside of every thin woman, there's a fat man is struggling to get out. Usually me. Usually. Once at my high school reunion, and I decided to go and see where I had carved my initials, oh, so many years ago. But the gym coach was wearing a toupee. So it didn't work. My fiancée is an existentialist, so I gave her a disengagement ring. All my friends are having children now. What does that leave me? I don't have any children. Like I got those baby on board stickers, I got one that says, I have no children, my life is meaningless, but now I have my own fucking girl! So all my friends are having children, they're talking about how cute the kid is, how smart the kid is. What do I have to brag about? I left some ejaculate into a handkerchief last night. And it smelled like a petunia. Want to sniff? Brought it along. I think masturbation is just the poor man's Nintendo. And while we're on this hateful subject for which you will all go to hell if you're practicing Catholics just for listening to this within the same vicinity of, what's this with the genie and the lamp? Isn't that kind of kinky? You rub this lamp and it's sort of kind of, it's hateful. I mean, it's like, the genie finally comes out. The wish is marching in. I've already come 3 times. I don't need anything now. Make yourself a little pizza, I had a Bible for children. It's called The Bid. The Old Testament is just one word. No! And the New Testament is also one word. Because! And then the religion for dogs is called Heel. In the Old Testament, one word. In the New Testament, 2 words. Good dog. And the Apocrypha is roll over. Or is it stay? I don't know. No. What sound does a beaver make anyway? Is that Papa? I don't know. Mix them up. Every time my dog sees me, it goes like this. That's because he knows I'm fixing to put a bouillon cube in his toilet bowl. Just for him. Will it be chicken or beef or what is this, man? Vegetable bag. You learn a lot from a dog. I know this. My dog is my best friend. All of my best friends kill chickens. All of my best friends vomit kibbles and bits onto the linoleum when the grandparents come to visit. And most of all of my best friends beg for treats with their genitalia exposed. When I die, I want my dog to bury me. I mean, spent half the time digging in the backyard anyway. Why stay at the funeral home, Also because I wouldn't want him to think I deserted him. Or maybe I'll be cremated and have my remains put into a car ashtray and discreetly dumped in a reserved corner of the shopping lot parking lot. I think that would be a lot more mellow than hurling my flaming remains out the car window at 85 miles an hour. Wait a minute. One thing I don't get is the Saturn car. Who were the marketing geniuses who decided to call it the Saturn? Well, what do we call a new car? We call it Mars? No, the Cold War's over. We call it Venus? No, we want to appeal to a broad base of consumers and not simply those who are inclined to view a car as a sexual object. I know. We'll call it Saturn. Saturn, the Greek figure in mythology, or the Greek mythological figure, who devoured his own children. Saturn! Great name for a car! Now, should you be with me? Sure, it's gonna go wild. Is there a cat in here? You know, my apartment smells like cat piss, and the hell of it is, I don't own a cat. What do you do about that? I'd like to know. No, I'm sorry. I have an attention deficit disorder. What was I saying? I was driving on that night club. You know, there's a hand in here for all of you to remember. A heckler is a black hole who sucks the light out of other stars. I'm doing a bit now all of a sudden. So, keep that in mind. I was driving down the road. I was doing 80 miles an hour. Car pulls me over. Standard setup. You've heard it a million times before. On television, on the radio, on common records, your pals, whatnot. But here's what happens. Car pulls me over and decided to play a game with him called Nice Victim, Mean Victim. And we'll let our little friend stand for the policeman here. You were doing 75 miles an hour. Why is that? Top of the morning, ma'am, officer. Sure, what the bloody captain's like you doing around the beat? Can I see your license and registration? Oh, sure. And I'll tell you why I was speeding, too. It's because I was pretending the accelerator was a policeman's head. Because I was sucking on a cube of LSD. And I wanted to get home before I melted. Officer Coffee and daughter said, "You're out this fucking spotlight!" Sir, he said, "Let it go this time. Take it slow, though." I'm against teenage drug users. Anyone here? Sure. Yeah, come on. Go on, show me. I think teenage drug users should grow up and take their medicine just like the rest of us. Okay. Gotta be careful what people on drugs. People on drugs knows everything. They really do. A nice word. It glitters marshmallow. You know what I like to do? I like to pretend to be a soldier so I can smoke in hospitals. Listen, buddy, if you're wearing that Oakley crust, you're going to be smoking crack in the operating room, and they won't say anything to you. All right? So he's a soldier. He's okay, you know. Chubby Checker. Oh, come on, baby. You guys got Bon Jovi? I got Chubby Checker, okay? And, funny thing about Chubby Checker, it seems as though the wife of the record company executive came up with the name Chubby Checker after seeing that cute, fast domino. What shall we call our new singing act? Chubby Checker. Now, if she had gone to college, maybe she would have come up with something a little more erudite, like obese chest, or arteriosclerotic backgammon, or oleaginous bingo. See him having a fit over that. I'm working on a line of ethnic restaurants named after the ethnic trait of the ethnic group whose food is being served there. Any suggestions? Sinatra? Hey, you gonna fucking eat or what, huh? Keep moving? Is that what you said? Oh, Ethiopian. It's like, that's not very tasteful. I refuse to do material like that, because I'm an artist. I am a supreme intellect. Ethiopian, you say, huh? There is Ethiopian restaurants. I mean, you know, what are they called? It's like, I don't know, Middle Africa or something. Dirt? What? Ooh. I couldn't win with that one, you know? No matter what I said. So, I'm not going to do it. I just ain't going to do it. Instead, Cuban. It's like, you have insulted the bearded one. Now we will take all your money. This episode of The Wrong Hero has been brought to you by the penis. Strong enough for a man, but made for a woman. But men like it too. And by anti-agri soap. It's black, it stinks like shit, it's just a big pile of gum basically, but it's really good for your skin. And by Disney World. What does MITKEYMOUSD really stand for? I'll tell you. MIT, Military Industrial Complex. KEY, Keynesian Economic Yoke. MOUSD, more of the United States Engulfment. K. I'd like to conclude with the national anthem. You know, Francis DiMenno was a one-hit wonder. I got the national anthem. What about the "Oh, say can you see by the dawn's early not light"? What is this guy? Is he studying this? Is he German or something? Or they can even see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we held at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright sides of the perilous night. You can't say this all at once. It's all one sentence, you know. So I thought maybe we should update it with a more congenial musical genre. Do we have any suggestions? The blues. I was born for backward in a little shotgun shack, and trouble all I know. I got up at break of morn, flag tattered and torn. Lord, how I hate to hear that rooster crow. Any others?
Gregorian Cannon. Okay. Hardcore.
Look, I got a flag. It's a big sticky flag. Look, I got a flag. I hate the flag, but that's our flag.
Folks, well, look at that flag. It's waving in the morning. It's waving in the evening. All over this land. Okay.
How about something special and different?
We were going to burn some poison ivy or perhaps torture a Shetland pony after the show. I don't think that was special enough for you, mister. Wait a minute. I'm being overwhelmed, okay? If someone says Kurt Cobain, okay.
Spangled banner, made a cheese club on the flagpole. Get my rock song.
No, it's kind of like to share with you my love for you. By this rate, this fever. Very well. The fever can live. For now. I'm the wrong hero. Good night.
Splash some water in your face, grab some food, and take a little 5 minute break, and make a call. 5 minute break. More. Halfway.
Very much, and most other Saturdays. But we love this one. We love the first Saturday in the month. And it is my pleasure to introduce to you one of my favorite weirdos, the Wrong Hero.
I like you. Because I have the feeling that you're the kind of crowd who knows everything that I know. Except for maybe one thing. I am the wrong hero. I am a comedian. Am I the type of comedian who is a showman for lower class animals? Am I the type of comedian who is an avatar of the moron zeitgeist? Am I the kind of comedian who is a cracker barrel philosopher for the bourgeoisie? No. I am an alien comedian. And I come to your squalid planet to destroy your Earth colony. For I believe it is better to fail in originality than to succeed in imitation. Actually, Melville said that. But he hasn't been getting any gigs lately. What would he do? Come out there with a United novel? Yeah, I'd like to read some movies. Okay. You do want to show? Oh, that's the thing. Perhaps one of the 3 songs that everybody knows, besides the theme to the Flintstones, the theme from the Beverly Hillbillies, that is the Star Spangled Banner. would we be singing the Star Spangled Nothing? Would it be like, oh, say, can you? Maybe. Because when you think about it, Francis DiMenno was a one-hit wonder. Wasn't it? I think maybe we should jazz up the Star Spangled Banner and fit in with the multicultural 90s. So, we could do it in a different genre, perhaps, different words, but the same basic meaning. Now, Broadway show tunes are very popular, so you can do something like, hey, look at that flag! Or no, wait, gosh, it sure is bright out! Gee, that flag is grand! Glad it's not still night out! Let's strike up a band! Or perhaps for more solemn occasions, the blues. I was born for bad luck, in a little shotgun shack, and trouble's all I know. I woke up at the break of dawn, flag down and torn. Lord, how I hate to hear that rooster crow! Or, I don't know, some Lambert, Hendricks, and Ross style jazz. The Star Spangled Banner. Well, if we're going to town, but that's still British. We're trying to shoot it down. What do you know, Joe? Hey ho, hey ho, hey ho. I had to stop and stare because the flag was still there. Dun, 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 dun. Or, I don't know. You could go anywhere with this one, I guess. Rolling Stones style rock and roll. Like, I was up all night drinking, my pants got on the knee, looked out hotel window, flag was flying in the breeze. I love to see that flag still flying, baby, keep it flying, baby. Country and western in the style of Roger Miller. I'm drunk, I'm fired, I'm broke, the air is full of cannon smoke. My neck is red, my skin is white, and I've been blue all night. I'm red and white and blue, feeling ragged through and through. I'm red and white and blue, just like a flag. Yeah. Or, hey, whoa, thrash, look, that's a flag! I hate the flag! That used to be our flag! Or, grunge, like Spangled Banner, made of cheesecloth, on the flagpole, get my rocks on. Or rap. I was walking down the street and the noise was up front. I was looking at the flag, it was red and blue and white. Or Benedictine chant. Want to get that to tell? That's coming back. It's been gone for 1,500 years, and now it's back. Shoot the flag, shoot the flag, shoot the flag. Yeah. Well, I guess I haven't been practicing my monastic chants for the last 20 years, so. Some people say the wrong hero is schizophrenic. Well, I have to tell you, I'm of two minds about that. But I say, it takes two to know one. But hey, it's no wonder I'm confused, because there's just so much out there, it's so hard to keep track of, but I have learned a few things, and I'd like to share them with you. Religion is frozen morality. Big business is the religion of selfishness. Advertising is the Stalinization of commodities. Politics are sports for people who are too fat to run. And the story of the 20th century is, now we're coming on up to the 21st century. We're going to have to decide how we're going to characterize the 20th century. I believe that the story of the 20th century is the ongoing story to show how we've managed to degrade every single myth that has made us strong and good. You know, it's like, fuck Prometheus and Hercules. I want Mookie Wilson, Boo Powell, and fucking get up here in Toronto. I'm gonna know the reason why. What's so great about Prometheus anyway? He stole fire from the heavens. He was punished for stealing fire from the heavens. Prometheus, yo, wake up! Wouldn't it have been a little more logical to steal fire from hell? I mean, they wouldn't have missed it. And what are they going to do with it when they catch it, you know? So, I don't know. Just thought that. But the ongoing degradation of myths, like that there Saturn car. Now, who were the marketing geniuses who came up with this concept? Shall we call the car Mars after the god of war? Nah, Cold War's over. Well, shall we call it Venus after the goddess of love? Well, we already have the Volvo, I don't know. Kind of pushing it. I know. We'll call it Saturn. Devours his own children. Great name for a car! I didn't see it, the concept. I got the commercial all locked up. Here, son, here's the keys to your very first car. Gee, thanks, Dad. Saturn, because you only have one life to live. You know, I wonder if the people in the colonial era had the same problem with gangs and unruly bands of youth that we have. I wonder if they had colonial juvenile delinquents. You know, like, hey, nice ox cart. Hey, look, the yoke. Let's go! Look out for that cow! Don't let a good indentured servant go bad. Lock your ox. Take the yoke. This is a public service message by Cotton Mather and John Winthrop. Yeah, the degradation of myths. I don't know. I think maybe they should have a religious historical series of bumper stickers just to bring these things back a little. Like, oh, I don't know. Ask me about my eternal torment. Or honk if you've betrayed our Lord. Or David Koresh is my co-pilot. I brake for compound fires. Or, you know, let's get a little historical here, like, oh, I don't know, ask me about the Haymarket riots. Or, I brake for the Whiskey Rebellion. Honk if you were in the bonus army. Yeah, we have no history, we have no myth. All we have in the 20th century are animated cartoons. Like the Flintstones. Now, let's see, John Goodman and Elizabeth Taylor are in the Flintstones movie, and they're people who are known to not turn a drink down that's offered to them. So this suggests to me the idea of the drunken Flintstones. And it would be something like, Flintstones, meet the Flintstones. Something like that. Or maybe we should combine Yogi Bear and Sophocles and produce the Yogi cycle. Yogi Rex, Ranger Smith at Colonus, And Boo Boo and Scooby-Doo meet Electra. I'm going to kill my father. Yeah, that's the ticket. Jazz up the myths. Because people are distracted. The value of the dollar is going down, mortgage rates are going up. It's hard to find a job. And one sign of how hard it is to find a job is this mantra that people say. It will create new jobs. They used to say something like that in Germany during the 1940s, although it went something like, I was only following orders. It will create new jobs. Let's get rid of tobacco farm subsidies. You know, they're killing thousands of people a year. No, it will create new jobs. Let's scale down those military bases. Maybe we can close a few of them down. You know, the Cold War's over already. No, it will create new jobs. Or let's build a casino. So what if video poker is sort of like the equivalent of crack cocaine for compulsive gamblers? Hey, I know, I'm going to apply for legal recognition as an Indian tribe and open up a casino in my belly button. You pull my arm and it might come out with $1 million, or it might come out with a piece of lint, or if I'm feeling ornery, it might come out with a punch in the snoot, wise guy. So, might work that way. Yeah, people are really desperate for jobs, and you can tell by the hangdog demeanor that they take when they go in for their job interview. And every time you do a job interview, they've got the power, they're sitting at the dais, and you're sort of like the lowly supplicant, and they say to you, well, where do you see yourself in 5 years? Always, they always ask you this, like, you know? And just once I'd like to say something like, I'll tell you where I see myself in 5 years, fatso. I see myself in a goddamn stress limo with a foxy whore on each arm, drinking Divorcier out of a Dixie cup, my fists dripping with fuck you money, and you standing on a street corner with snot in your beard, begging for a handout. That's where I see myself in 5 years. I'd really like to do that, but no, I really need a job, and people who have jobs, they really need to hold on to their jobs, and you can tell just by the way they act, you know, when you go out there and you make some incomprehensible demand, they always try to be really nice, really civil. Like, one time I walked into an ice cream parlor, and I hate to admit it, but I was stoned. How could I tell? Well, one eye was the size of a pinprick, and the other side was the size of a bowling ball. I walked up to the counter, to the young lady behind the counter, and I said, hi, I'd like a triple-decker ice cream cone, 1 scoop grapefruit sorbet, 1 scoop ginger snap molasses, and 1 scoop coffee cappuccino, almond bark, whale, dolphin, Mexico City card, stew, Haitian rice, eucalyptus leaf, koala bear, mastodon twerk. And I don't want it in a cone, I want it in a monkey's paw. And she said, certainly, sir, for here to go. And I said, make it to go. And she yelled, number 57, take off! Yeah, well, I used to actually have a job. I actually used to work for Pat Caddell, who was Jimmy Carter's pollster during the 1980 and 1976 elections. I worked for him in 1980, and, you know, I could tell the campaign was in trouble when they laid 3/4 of us off midway through October. You could tell the campaign was sort of like spiraling the drain at that point. And I discovered one thing about doing surveys. Surveys are always wrong. Why? Who do they employ? 23-year-old psychotic slackers jacked up on burnt coffee. That's who. Like people with attention deficit disorders, the size of Montana. trying to reel in these disinterested electorate, and, you know, it's like you're 3/4 of the way through the survey. I'm sorry, I can't talk to you anymore. Wheel of Fortune's on. Bye. Yeah, just want some Wheel of Fortune. When they yell big money when they're spinning the wheel. I'd like for Pat Sajak to roll out a giant stone coin from the island of Yao. You know, I knew you were the kind of people who would get that. It's a fun feeling. So, yeah, they have you fill out the survey for them, and that's why surveys are always wrong. When you spend 3/4 of an hour trying to hook a marlin into your boat, and the marlin gets away, you know, just fill out the survey. Hey, it's all right. Earns over $50,000 a year, favorite color red, solid, you know. Make up a social security number, we're in here. But later in my job experience, I discovered that you can get away with anything as long as you're carrying a clipboard. Anything. In fact, you can almost call it the magic clipboard. Hitler, Stalin, Genghis Khan, Alexander Solzhenitsyn, Marilyn Monroe, Jacqueline Kennedy, Aristotle Onassis, all had one thing in common. They carried the magic clipboard. Yeah, it's a crazy world, crazy world. Things are falling apart. You know, I had this idea for a movie. It wouldn't be a very long movie. World War II veteran falls asleep in 1944, wakes up in 1994. Oh, I know, Rip Van Winkle, but bear with me. Falls asleep in 1944, wakes up in 1994. First thing he says is, "You must tell me, Hitler lost, didn't he?" Didn't he? Like I said, it's a real short movie. That would be the end. Maybe you got Vladimir Zhirinovsky, fundamentalists, skinheads. I figured out one nice thing about skinheads. They don't leave hair on the stove. For that matter, they don't clog the drain up either. So, now here's something that really gets my goat. Cinco de Mayo. Mexican Independence Day.
Isn't it bad enough we stole 1/3 of their country? Now we have to steal their Independence Day too?
I just want to know. And tomorrow is the feast of Santo Cristo, a Portuguese feast. And that got me to thinking about Portugal. You know, 400 years ago, Portugal had a world empire. It stretched from sea to boundless sea. It stretched from, I don't know, East Timor to you name it. And now, what are they remembered for? Be honest. What are the Portuguese best known for? Red wine, which gives you the world's worst hangover. And that gets me to thinking, what are we going to be remembered for 400 years from now? Jet travel? First man on the moon? Telephone? Automobile? No. Plutonium, dioxin, and styrofoam.
You know, that's what they left us. Boy, I'll tell you, I don't appreciate having to clean up after their mess. What are they thinking when they did all this stuff?
Sunday is also Mother's Day. All this talk about Mother's Day. What about Shaft? I heard he was a real bad mother. Yeah, because you know. Hey, this is better than anything else I have prepared. You like the dancing? Well, you know, it's funny, but it's sad and it's tragic and all that, but cartoons are our myths. And let's face it, why do we call it planet Earth? Let's face reality and call it what it really is. Disney World. Guys, think about it. What does Mickey Mouse really stand for? Oliver Stone, call your office. I'll tell you. MIC, Military Industrial Complex. KEY, Keynesian Economic Yoke. MOUSC, more of the United States government. Here at Disney World. Yeah, and they're going to build Disney's America, not too far from the boring old Civil War site of Manassas, where old Morgan died one day, and any other battle of the United States has ever been involved in. But no, stupid, boring gravestones. Let's go. Disney's America. What are they going to have here? Goofy reciting the Franklin Delano Roosevelt Day of Infamy speech? Like, November, December 12th, October, we'll hit the day. That will live in infamy. Japan, no, sorry, Tokyo Disney. Bombs, Pearl Harbor. I'd like to build something right next to Disney World that would be called the Manic Kingdom. It would be along the same line, except all of the characters would be given extremely dangerous drugs. Like Mickey Mouse, you know. Functional steroids! Donald Duck. Or our beloved friend Goofy. Better to the house of the wall. You are this, you are this. Yeah, I'd like to do that sometime. Cartoons, you know. I really like Superman. You might almost say I'm fixated on it. But poor old Clark Kent, he's the most powerful being in the universe, and he works at the Daily Planet. He's been working there for 56 years. Some investigative reporters these people are. And an incredibly advanced outer space alien has been on their payroll for 56 years and they haven't figured it out yet. You know, he works at the Daily Planet. Don't you think by now he'd be working at the Hourly Cosmos or the Nanosecond Universe or something? But no, it's the boring old Daily Planet. Now, here's a guy who flies through a black hole to clean his uniform, and he spends his day chasing ambulances and looking at Lois Lane with his x-ray vision through the water cooler, you know? It's like, Clark, is it hot in here or what? It's my x-ray. I mean, it's very hot. So, I don't know. And here's another thing. Maybe you should take a break, you know, get a whole bunch of coal, make a whole bunch of diamonds, give it to all the criminals in the tropics, and then take it easy, you know? Just give it to them, you know? There won't be any more crime, anyway. Now, you know, the subplot of the television show is that Lois Lane is going to marry Lex Luthor. And I'm thinking, what if Superman gave Lois Lane an engagement ring? Here's a man that can make diamonds out of coal. You know, it makes huge, you know, like, I can't wear this ring. I put a little bit of antimatter in it to make it weigh a little less. I can't wear it. So, I don't know. And when he wants to get drunk, they have to put a little bit of kryptonite in his drink to weaken him so they can enjoy the full effect. Oh, a kryptonite daiquiri! I don't ordinarily like these sissy drinks, but this one's kind of tasty. And doesn't he have a kryptonite lock on his bike? You know? Now that's like, can't go. I wonder, and another thing, Clark Kent is a mild-mannered reporter. When's the last time you've seen a mild-mannered reporter, huh? Excuse me, can I have that picture of your German Shepherd that was buried up to his neck so we can put it on the front page of the paper? You know, mild-mannered reporter, I just don't get it. Here's something, you know, Nixon died not too long ago. And I was reading an article about steroid abuse and symptoms, you know, like thick black beard, uncontrollable outbursts of temper. And I thought, gee, maybe Nixon had those. Yeah, that would explain a whole hell of a lot. You know, it's like, California is giving me a hard time. I really want you to blow the hell out of him. Mr. President, I think you've been drinking too much. Everything in my college is right now. I don't know if still a democracy, right? Right. Isn't it? Isn't it? But the problem with a democracy is you have the peculiar problem of reverse snobbery. People don't brag about how distinguished their ancestors were. They sort of brag about how low they started out and how they had to crawl their way up through the muck and dirt. Like, we were so poor, we lived on a farm, and we lived on potatoes. Well, we were so poor, we lived in a granite quarry, and we had to eat quartz. Well, we were so poor, we lived on a fucking molecule, and we had to eat quartz. Well, you got me there, Chief. And people, they don't go to the doctor or the psychiatrist, they write letters to advice columnists. I like to start an advice column that would be called Ann Slander. With answers you would really like to see. Like, my dog drinks out of the toilet. How can we break him of his filthy habit? Fix the lid so it falls on his head. If that doesn't work, throw a bullion cube in there. It won't break him of his habit, but you won't have to feed him as often. Dear Ann Slander, do you think a dating bar is a good place to meet a girl? Well, if you're a mindless alcoholic ape wandering through a savannah, waiting for a female inhibitory forebrain to fall on your empty skull, then maybe the anthropology department of a university would be a better place to seek a wife. I'd like you to settle a little bet for us. My boyfriend says that Blue Oyster's Cult's Don't Fear the Reaper came out in 1974, and I say it came out in 1976. Well, if you argue about that shit, you're both losers. Fine. I'll tell you, I'd like to do a show in Mexico someday. But I think I get myself in trouble because the only phrase I know in Spanish is, empleados, laven los manos, por favor. Which means, employees, please wash your hands. May I see your papers, sir? Empleados, laven los manos, por favor. Put them in jail. So, that would work. And I spent 6 months studying Chinese. I didn't really learn anything, you know. It's my fault, you know. Maybe if I actually try to learn the pronunciations instead of just staring at the characters. But it did give me the notion that I could go into a Chinese restaurant and order meals in Chinese, you know. Like, I'd like to have some, call the police. What if you do this in an Italian restaurant? Hey, I want some beer parmesan! Try to do their gestures, you know. Oh, waiter, 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 waiter. You know, or in a dating bar, you know. Hey, what's your fucking sign, huh? What if you could cross a chimpanzee with a parrot? What would he say? I shit my cage. I sure am looking forward to performing 8 hours of repetitive labor for one banana pellet. Yes, indeed. Maybe they'll let me ride the unicycle and smoke cigars. It's my birthday. I guess the only myths that are really viable are the mythology of music. Yeah, I hear the Grateful Dead's going on tour with Dr. Kevorkian. And they're going to do A Touch of Grey and the showstopper, Please Don't Ease Me In. Oh, and the Beach Boys are going to have a hit, Help Rwanda, help Rwanda, you know. But even music has its downside. Like, rock and roll is capitalism in 145. And folk music is every bit as oppressive as the injustices it is supposedly attempting to eradicate. And so, with this in mind, I would like to perform my rendition of If I Had a Hammer. If
If I had a hammer, I have a hammer. If I had a hammer, someone can hammer me already. I'm trying to get some sleep. You're hammering in the morning. You're hammering in the evening. When am I supposed to get some sleep around here anyway?
That was the wrong hero. Stick around, we got a couple more things going to happen. We got time burner, and we got the proportionate, so stick around, please. We got a little bit more happening. Buy some. This is the wrong hero.
Thank you. You're beautiful. Really beautiful. Well, yeah, Brett was talking about how we're all exiles from our family and stuff. You know what I had for Thanksgiving? I had a banquet.
A banquet, frozen fucking turkey TV dinner. I threw it in the goddamn oven at 5,000 degrees, and I cooked it for 3 seconds, and it came out all fat, and I ate it.
Aluminum foil and all. I can't go on until the lighting in this place is improved. Well, alright. Since you begged me, I'll come back. Yeah, well, it's easy to become exiled from your family. And here's one compelling reason. There's this book that Dad reads, in which he has all these homely old aphorisms, saws, and wise sayings, and he inflicts them on you at every possible possibility. Oh, by the way, I forgot, I'm supposed to schmooze first. Hi, how are you?
Hi.
Nice shirt. Nice beard. Nice B-ray. Nice tie. Nice bandana. Nice scarf. What? That's a mine? God, what are you, a masochist? Cry guy. Well, yeah, so your dad gives you all these wise sayings. The benefit of his infinite wisdom. Well, thank you, Paterfamilia. Oh, great one. I bow to you, standing on your pedestal like throne, imparting words of great wisdom unto me, the spawn of your youthful frenzy. For example, he'll say stuff like, you know, son, you catch more flies with meat than you do with vinegar. You know, Dad, you catch more flies with bullshit than you do with honey or vinegar. What are we gonna do? Go into business, Dad? Buy Catcher and Son Incorporated? What are we gonna feed goldfish or something? Oh, there's a lot of money in that, Dad. Yeah, and you know, Dad, you ask him for, hit him up for some dough. He says the same thing all the time. I don't care what language it is. Das Geld, das nicht an den Baum geglückt. You know, you're in Germany, you know, he's dyslexic. You know, he's on Twin Peaks, you know. I suck him. No matter what language it's in, it's always the same thing. Money doesn't grow on trees, you know. I know money doesn't grow on trees. It falls from your fat wallet, fool! Now fight it over! Pronto! Habla español, papi? Yeah, you think somebody's giving you this advice, man? I don't need this bogus advice, you know, it's like well, you know, son, money isn't everything. I know money isn't everything, so why don't you give me some? Because I oh man, I don't know, I just don't know. I don't know, I just don't know. Thanks. Hey, what's the Carrie preaching at the airport? Run, 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 run. People say, Romeo,
Why do you wear those shoulder pads on your shoulders? I have two reasons. One is to irritate the chips on my shoulders. The other one is I'm a journalist in my secret identity, and during the day I wear them on my knees. Especially when I'm interviewing the rich and famous, you know. Oh, Raymond, give me the benefit of your wisdom. Tell me how you swindle those fucking widows! Oh, sorry, I lost myself for a second there, great one. I mean, give me the benefit of your great wisdom and tell me how you parlay your stock investments into a multi-million-dollar empire. And that's why I'm interviewing you instead of you interviewing me. So I think of, my mother, you know, your mother, she reads these nursery rhymes, totally unequipped you for dealing with real situations, like, the three little kittens have lost their mittens and don't know where to find them. And I go, kittens wearing mittens? Kittens wearing mittens? Kittens wearing mittens? What kind of crazy nightmare world is this you brought me into, mother? Wild, man, just wild. And, well, I wanted to ask you a question. Again, I gotta get into the schmoozing bit, you know, otherwise you might think that I'm cold and unreceptive to you and not interested in you except for mere paws that I can manipulate and mold at my will. I'll get down among you, you know. There. I have descended from my astral plane and now I roam among you as one of you. Yes, you are all animals, but I too am an animal, and so we all smell the same. We have no secrets from each other in this quiet, calm, introspective moment. What's in your refrigerator?
Nothing.
Oh, cool. What's in your refrigerator?
Mold.
Okay. I thought you were going to say laughter. Give the gift of laughter. Put it in the refrigerator to develop mold. Moldy laughter.
Thanksgiving mold.
Thanksgiving, cool. Oh, I got Halloween mold in mine. That candy corn, you know? It's like, what cretin thought of candy corn? What kind of moron would mistake candy corn for any kind of corn, you know, candy or otherwise? I just don't know. Okay, one more. What's the last job on your resume? Unemployment? No? Well, you know, you guys, you don't have a good idea of what's in your refrigerator. That's sad, but I can relate. Considering what I have in my refrigerator. You see, there's two types of refrigerators. There's a woman's refrigerator, and it's painted pink. And it has little powder puffs. This is satire. This is a role which I spent many hours preparing. It is not actually me talking. I'm merely channeling the great alien spirit. So you cannot consume our remarks as either sexist or racist, but classist now. We'll get into that later. So anyway, let me get on with my extended spiel, and then you can reserve your judgment until after I finish. And besides, these are archetypes I'm dealing with, alright? Great archetypes. It's like Agamemnon, sexist, goes back to his mother's house, goes back to his wife's house in Scotland, is a woman, sexist, his best growing out of a giant tree, sexist, his sexist. Is ageist. He doesn't recognize old dad. Well, anyway. It's a great dichotomy. Left versus right. Nationalism versus internationalism. Fundamentalism versus agnosticism. Then you have the great divide of men's refrigerators versus women's refrigerators. Women's refrigerators. They're pink. They're full of powder puffs and petunias. Marlboro lights and lipsticks and wine coolers and then you have the man's refrigerator. Nuclear waste, a monkey's paw clutched with a jewel. Condoms, cigars, 15 pounds of dynamite. Well, you know, when I go shopping, I don't go to Purity Supreme. I go to this little place It's underground. It's right across the street from Purity Supreme, and it's called the Filthy Midget Mart. Sizes. We're on Randy Newman, huh? No, you misunderstand me. This is the same mistake that others have made in the past, although not for long. Don't be midget marks. We don't ask you whether you want paper or plastic. We throw the shit at your head. That's why we have the fastest checkout lines in the business. When you go in the filthy midget mark, the first thing you see is our produce section. Is that an apple? Or is it a hand grenade? You never know. Filthy midget mark. We don't sell sissy stuff like milk and eggs and bread and diapers. Oh no. We sell whips and chains and masking tape and all sorts of filthy Vaseline and gasoline and tobacco and alcohol. Because there's so many midget marks. We don't sell cleansers and soaps and other bourgeois impediments that enable you to impress your boss. We sell Mr. Phil. When your bohemian friends come to visit, if your place isn't dirty enough to suit them, you may face social ostracism. That is where Mr. Phil comes in. Mr. Phil, Mr. Phil, Mr. Phil. Throw some of this shit around, it's gonna look like it's been living for the past 50 years. Owl pellets, mouse dung, squirrel bait, roadkill. All these smells and more when you pop open a bottle of Mr. Phil, Mr. Phil, Mr. Phil. Well, you have been a most energetic and receptive crowd. And it is at this point I've decided to leave you. But I'll be back. I'll be back! I will be back because I'm the wrong hero. And you are beginning to bore me. You make me nervous. Because you're evil. That's the wrong hero. So we're doing good now, right?
Yeah.
We're doing all right. Now we're gonna have some gas.